What is up, guys? It is your boy, MaineMania, and welcome back to another episode of MK Mobile. Ladies and gentlemen, it's here. It's finally here. Episode 500, and probably my last collection video. By the end of today's episode, you guys are gonna know why I say that, but I'm sure you guys have a hunch as to why that is. You know, MK Mobile has been in a really stale place for a while. It did get reinvigorated by the Crypt and the addition of the Crypt, at least for veteran players, because it gave a lot of veteran players an opportunity to actually grow their collections, you know, without wasting a whole lot of their time dedicating it to battles and then fighting battle 200s of an event tower over and over and over again and getting sellbacks from those battle 200s over and over and over again. So the Crypt really did a great job of mitigating that and giving veterans an opportunity to grow their collection, a much needed opportunity to actually grow their collections. And right now I just feel like my collection is possibly at a standstill. Like, it's gonna grow little by little, but it's basically based on, you know, one character in the Crypt and one piece of equipment in the Crypt each week. The Crypt gets the majority of my playtime, and rightfully so. It's the only thing that offers a guaranteed opportunity to be rewarded for the time you spend playing the game. And you know, hopefully changes in the future will change that, and hopefully they'll bring that same philosophy to Faction Wars when they revamp it, if they revamp it, that is. And hopefully they'll bring that same philosophy to, you know, an updated store in the future, and to towers as well. You know, there's definitely some changes needed, but we're not going to get into there. Today we're going to celebrate my collection, and we're just going to talk about basically how I play the game at this stage of the game. So long story short, my collection is very strong. It's a very strong collection. I do have every character in the game. I have all of the bronzes fully maxed out, as you guys most likely will expect. All of the silvers also fully maxed out. And then we talk about the golds and the silvers. Now, when it comes to the gold characters, I do not have all of them fully maxed out, especially with the new Ascension system. I don't believe in the combat passes. I have bought a couple of them. I bought the very first one so I can do an honest review of it. I also bought the one for Slasher Jason, and obviously I got to do it for Mournful Katana. She was my OG main in this game. So I did buy a few of the combat passes. I do have some of the ascended characters at Ascension level 5, but the others are struggling. I haven't gotten a chance to ascend Slasher Jason just yet because he is the hardest gold to get in this game. You can pretty much only get him in the Jason packs. He's not in any of the other packs for the most part, at least to my knowledge. And so you pretty much only get 1 to 2 chances per year to get him. And I have him at Fusion 9 now, thanks to that combat pass. Before that, he was at Fusion like 3 or 4. So I remember hearing rumblings that they were going to make him a challenge character so people can actually have a chance to get him, but we still haven't seen him yet. So we'll see what happens with that. Other than that, you know, we do have the new golds in the game, the Adenian Blood characters, the Lizard characters, and Pyromancer Tanya. I do have to get those characters up. They're not quite maxed out yet, but they will come as they come. You know, I don't spend souls to get golds. I don't recommend, you know, any intermediate or veteran player to do so either. If you're a beginner and golds are your bread and butter, I can understand it. But once you're a veteran and you've got a good diamond collection, golds are basically going to be a byproduct of trying to get diamonds. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get your golds trying to get your diamonds, but I'm not going to intentionally open up packs trying to max out specific golds. The only golds I would say are worth doing that for are probably Combat Cup Johnny, and hands down the best gold in the game, and that is Lizard Baraka. Lizard Baraka right now is actually on my main farming team, and this man is a monster. Oh my god, he's a monster. Lizard Baraka is definitely the best gold in the game. I cannot believe they gave so much to a gold. It's kind of crazy. Like I don't think I would be crazy if I honestly told you guys that I genuinely do feel as if Lizard Baraka genuinely is a top 10 character in the entire game, diamonds included. I know that's gonna sound crazy to a lot of people, but genuinely, I do feel like Lizard Baraka is probably a top 10 character of all the characters in the game. With the right equipment on him, he's just unstoppable. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. So if you're gonna spend souls on golds, I think Lizard Baraka hands down is the #1 gold to do it for. And maybe Combat Cup Johnny if you can get him to Ascension level 5. Only because, you know, he's very strong, and if you don't really have a robust collection, those guys can put in work for you for golds. But we'll come back to my golds later on. I'm sure people really could care less about that. What they want to know about is the diamonds. So yeah, as you can see, I have a vast majority of the diamonds at Fusion X. There's only 9 diamonds in the game that I do not have at Fusion X 60. And that would mean that I have 53 diamonds at Fusion X 60. But what I think is more important and what people don't really talk about much, and that's kind of the claim to how I play this game, and you know, that's what I think separates my collection apart from most people's, is feats of strength and where my feats of strength are. That's really going to be the bulk of the rest of today's episode, because when it comes to feats of strength, I currently have 26 diamonds that have all of their feats of strength fully maxed out. I have 28 characters total. That means 2 golds that have all of their feats of strength fully maxed out, and you know, Fusion X level 60. So I think that's kind of the big thing that separates my collection from most people's. When it comes to feats of strength, I've done a pretty good job of working on them and making my battles count. That's kind of how I've played this game, and you know, it's definitely helped out a lot, because you know, not a lot of people can go through their collections and see all of these completes. Like if I go through my feats of strength here, like look at these. You know, I put in work. So when it comes to every character in the game, right? When it comes to every character in the game, just about every character in the game has all of their special, well, I guess I should start with my diamonds. Let me rephrase that. When it comes to all of my diamonds, every diamond in the game except for Movie Sonya and Shadow Nightwolf have all their special 1s and 2s. Those are the only 2 diamonds in the entire game that do not have that. When it comes to like look at this, like my feats of strength are like crazy maxed for like most characters. The worst feats of strength I have is the victory stances one, and that's because those are faction wars wins, and I don't really play faction wars anymore. That's gonna be my next focus, but I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, you know, this is kind of where my feats of strength are for all my characters. As you can see, not a lot of characters don't have them done versus the characters that do have them done. Every single character in the game has all of their knockouts, meaning 1,000 knockouts. That's a huge deal right there. In addition to that, like look at this. Look how quickly I get to all of the characters that are completed. Like it's low-key crazy when I look at it, because like this is why I feel like I'm coming to the end, because guys, like I have pretty much maxed out a vast majority of my cards. You know what I mean? Like we go through these feats of strength, but look how quickly we're gonna end up going to the actual completes, and then we get to the completes and that's everybody else, you know? You see those diamonds in there galore. Like I have grinded, I have you know, try to do what I can to get through and max out my collection. And you know, I'll just show you guys really quickly in battle mode. But if you guys have ever seen my teams in the past, right, you would see my farming team. So right now, my main farming team is Movie Sonia, Shadow Nightwolf, and Lizard Baraka, working on their special ones and special twos. After Movie Sonia and Shadow Nightwolf get done, all I'll have after that is you know, gold characters. I'm gonna start working on, you know, Hanzo, the Ascended golds. I'm gonna work on my Melinas after that. And I don't plan on making my way through the entire gold collection. I honestly don't. You know, it's something to do as I make my way through towers, but it's not something I plan to do. I do plan on maxing out all of the Ascended golds and the Melinas. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Most likely I'll keep going as far as, you know, working on their special ones and twos and things like that. But other than that, it's not really a priority of mine. As far as battle mode, do you guys know I've been grinding battle mode? The only 2 cards in the game that do not have all their battle mode wins are Tactical Sonya and Cybernetic Jackie. Once I finish those 2, every character in the game will have had all of their battle mode wins. Already right now, every character in the game has gotten 250 X-rays, and every character in the game has gotten their knockouts except for 3. So that takes me to my next farming team. I do believe it's the farming team. This is the 500 teams. So the only 2 characters in the game that do not have 500 kills of a specific character that they need are Warlock Quan Chi and MK11 Fujin. Go figure, both of these characters are actually what they have to kill Shinnok. So I have to kill Shinnok in order to basically have it so that this is like the biggest thing for me. I know it's not exciting to anybody else, so you don't understand how long I've grinded this. Every single character in the game that needs to kill 500 of a specific character, once I'm done with this team, I will have completed that for everybody. Everybody. Now, let me just break this down to you, okay? There are probably 6-7 characters that need to kill 500 Cassie Cages. There's multiple characters that need to kill 500 Goros, mostly the Johnny Cages. There's a lot of characters that have to kill 500 Jackies, namely like I think it's Kung Lao or Reptile. I think it's Reptile actually, right? Characters have to kill Jade. Tanya has to kill 500 Jades. Characters have to kill Johnny Cage. You have the Ermacs, you have the Tremors, you have the Goros, and you have the Terminators. They all have to kill 500 Johnny Cages each. I've cleared all of that. Characters have to kill Kano, Kitana, Kotal Khan, Liu Kang, Melina, Quan Chi, Raiden, Reptile, Scorpion, Sonya, and Sub-Zero. Every character that has to kill 500 of all of those characters is done. They are done. And that is huge. You guys remember looking at my farming teams in the past? You would have seen farm this person, farm that person, farm this person, farm that person. And I have successfully made my way through that. So for the most part, Shinnok is pretty much all that's left. Faction Wars is the next big project. I do need to work on Faction War wins because even though I have 26 fully maxed out diamonds, X60F, I like to call them. Even though I have 26, I have another 14 diamonds that just need Faction War wins or combo enders. So only 14 diamonds just need one more thing to be fully maxed out, X60F. And that's something I need to work on. These are some of those characters. I haven't fully made up my Faction War teams just yet. I do need to make them up, you know, build out their equipment, their gear, all that stuff, and then start playing more Faction Wars. That's probably going to be the next big thing that I do. I don't really work on combo enders because I find that too tedious. That is the one thing that I just feel like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So for the characters that need combo enders to become X60F, If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm just not gonna sit there mindlessly grinding that. You know, as I play them, as they run in auto and get their faction war wins and maybe even make their way through towers or the crypt, that's where they'll get their combo enders, because it ain't gonna be me sitting there doing combo enders for hours upon hours upon hours. It's just a very, very tedious feats of strength, if you ask me. The most tedious one by far. 3,000 combo enders, they're wildin'. These are the 3 characters in the game that require knockouts. These are the last 3 characters left: Cyber Jackie, Edenian Sindel, and Bone Shaper Shithead. Those are the last characters in the game that require knockouts. They're all pretty close. They're all at like 700-800 knockouts. So I would probably say within another week or 2, they'll all be fully maxed out and this team will get deleted because no one else will require knockouts in the entire game. So, like I said, I have grinded and I have worked on so many of my feats of strength and made my way through my collection with so many things that I just kind of feel like right now, there's really not that much to play for. It's not really, you know, fulfilling to play through towers at this point. You know, sometimes I get a diamond, but I get so many sellbacks, it's taken the joy away from doing that. And, you know, through that process, I think what kind of kept me going and kept me playing the game as much as I was to finally be able to say one day that, oh my God, I have all these maxed out diamonds. I have every character in the game has gotten all their knockouts. Every character in the game has gotten all of their 500 kills of whoever they need to kill 500 of. Every character in the game has gotten all their special 1s and special 2s. I only wanted to do that for my diamonds. Now I'm kind of making my way into my golds because I don't have any diamonds to do that for. And I don't foresee myself doing that with the Swarm Queen Devoras and the Commando Kanos. It just wouldn't be fun for me. I don't mind doing it for my diamonds because your diamond collection is your diamond collection, right? You know, that's your top, that's your creme de la creme. But I just don't see myself doing that for Swarm Queen Devora and, you know, Commando Kano and Hat Trick Kung Lao. I just don't see myself doing all that. You know, it's just not worth my time. My time needs to go to other games and things that I'm gonna find enjoyable. So that's why, you know, I do feel like this is probably gonna be my last collection video. I'm pretty much towards the near end of my grinding. You know, right now the Crypt is really the only thing that keeps this game going for me. Being able to, you know, have a new diamond and a new piece of epic gear in the Crypt each week. These are the things that keep me going. And I make 3 Crypt teams every single week based on what characters have the bonus. I make 2 main teams and I make backup teams. I can just briefly show you guys how I do that right now, because this is kind of all I've been really doing in the game lately. You know, I'm pretty behind in towers, but I'm also not concerned about it. But yeah, for the Crypt, I've been trying to use one of my gold characters. I start them off with a special 2. So for the characters that I actually want to work on their special 1s and 2s, my ascended golds and my top golds, what I've been trying to do is let them be the starter, immediate special 2, and then go to town with my, you know, bonus character and my actual main damage dealer, which on this team is usually in my 3rd slot at this point for my Crypt team. But I make 3 teams because you get 2 free runs per day. But if you don't complete that 2nd run, you know, it locks those characters for the following day. So I make 3 teams for that reason. You know, if one team is locked, I'll still have 2 teams to do the 2 free runs for the next day. So that's kind of where I'm at, guys. You know, this is my collection. It's looking good. It's looking good. You know, I do have a few diamonds that are on the cusp of Fusion X. Cold War Scarlet is at Fusion 9. And then I've got Fujin at 8. And then Sindel and Guardian at 7 with Relentless Jason. So, you know, I do have some characters that are getting close to that F60 level, and hopefully I'll be able to turn that 53 maxed out diamonds to like 56 or so within the next couple of months. It's just, once again, it's at a point where there's not much that I can do. You know what I mean? There's not much to do, I guess. Not even can do, to do. There's really not that much to do in this game anymore. It's become very redundant because even the packs that come out, most of the characters in packs I don't need. So like, where do I spend my souls? You know what I mean? Like, where do I spend my souls? Most of the packs I only need one character in, and it would be almost foolish to just blow my souls opening up all these MK11 packs just trying to get MK11 Sindel. You know what I mean? That wouldn't be a good use of souls. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. The only pack that looks really attractive right now is the Guardian pack, because I actually need Guardian Terminator, and he's the, you know, one of the main drops in that pack. So yeah, guys, it's a veteran's curse. You know, it's a veteran's curse. I don't want to sound doom and gloom, but that's just kind of where it is in this game. Like, they have failed to add new material to this game. They failed to add new characters, new teams. If you look at the Mortal Kombat franchise, right? Just look at the franchise. There are so many different variations of characters. From Mortal Kombat, the OG game, to Mortal Kombat 1, right? You got so many skins, so many variations, so many teams, so many storylines. There's a lot that the MK mobile development team could work with as far as creating new teams like they did with the Adenian Blood team, creating new teams like they did with the Lizard team. There's a lot of that they could do, but instead they do cheap, dirty tactics like introduce the Ascension system so they can halve our collections and take away our maxed out characters from us, and saying, no, they're not maxed out anymore. Now you got to ascend them to Ascension X, which is still locked to this day. And I just think it's a shitbag tactic. You know what I mean? It's a really dirty shitbag tactic. Resetting someone's collection in hard work and grind to max out characters is never ever a good game design choice. It robs the players of all of their hard work and their time invested into those characters. So the Ascension system is dog shit. I think it needs to be scrapped altogether and completely reworked. The combat pass needs some work. You know, the combat pass is not fun, 1. 2, the challenges are very mundane and not challenging, right? And 3, the rewards are what? Like, what do you really get from the combat pass? Nothing. You don't really get valuable rewards from it. You get a whole bunch of junk that you're just not gonna use and mostly don't need. So I just really feel like they could do a lot better with those systems, and hopefully it will happen one day. Hopefully it will happen one day. But until it does, I can see a lot of veterans bowing out, a lot of veterans picking up other games and finding better things to do with their time. When I first started playing this game, my very first episode of MK Mobile, right? We're 500 episodes later, but my very first episode was my collection video, and I always talked about how this game was a fun time waster for me. But it's not that anymore. Now I feel like it's actually wasting my time. Where it was a fun thing to do to occupy my time, now I feel like playing it is almost a waste of time. And that's not a good feeling, but it's been like that for a while. And I don't think the devs listen. Unfortunately, I don't think they listen. At least I don't think they listen to the right people. There are some pretty good veterans that have a good grasp of the game. And there's other veterans that are just pure sharks at this point. And they're just absolute whales that only have a whale perspective of everything in the game, which is very skewed because there's a lot of players that don't spend a lot of money in this game, whether they just casually buy a pack here or there, or they're fully free to play. There's a lot of characters that fit that description. And unfortunately, there's a lot of veteran players that only see things from their point of view with their maxed out collections and maxed out tower gear that they paid hundreds and thousands of dollars for. You know what I mean? And so I just feel like it's put the game in a really bad place. A lot of decisions aren't being made for the beginner players, for the everyday player, for the casual player. And I think I've always tried to represent that voice. Some whales may get mad at me and may not follow my content. That's perfectly fine. But I've always tried to have a level-headed, balanced voice for this game that considers both the free-to-play players, the beginner players, the people picking up this game, but also the veterans as well, which I am one of, and also people that do spend money in this game. There's a lot of things that do need change in this game, but they just haven't come. And to be honest, they've been when good things come, it's like they take one great step forwards and then they take a couple steps back. It's been a curse. It really has been like a curse, but it's why the game has been in this perpetual cycle of just feeling like it's just not worth your time invested. And hopefully that will change. Once again, I am optimistic that maybe one day, you know, the right people will be put in the right places that will be able to influence the decisions being made in this game, and that will actually be able to make it better for the player base. That's all I've ever wanted for this game, is for this game to be better for the player base. I just don't know if that day will come. I don't know if that day will come, but I'll be here. I'll be playing other games. I'll be making content, and I will do what I can to keep this game fun and exciting for those of you guys who do enjoy my perspectives, enjoy my commentary, and just enjoy my content in general. I'll do my best to keep making this game fun for you, even when you're not having fun while you're playing it. So that's where I'm at. That's my collection video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Y'all know the deal if you enjoyed today's episode. And if you missed my MK Mobile content, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new, show the channel some love, like, share, join, and y'all know the deal, man. I'll see you guys next time with MaineMania.